How's it going, everyone? Wayne the Known here, and welcome back to another episode of Cosplay Con Talk, where we basically discuss everything pertaining to the cosplay community and convention. I'm joined here by some familiar faces and a new face for another episode of Convention Recap. This time, we are going to be talking about the recent con that happened last week, I think it was, for
Hmm.
Emerald City Comic Con, held in Seattle, Washington. Um, Real quick, I'll have everyone introduce ourselves. First off, with Ben, aka Triple Click Photography. Want to introduce yourself?
Hi, my name's Ben Lucas. At Comic Con, I am Triple Click Photo, the photo booth designed specifically for cosplayers. The other 365 days, 64 days a year, you can find me at Nom Creative, as in Om Nom Nom. But yeah, triple click photo. So I am a full-time photographer. I'm in my studio, sample wall behind me for those of you watching the video. But yeah, triple click photo is the cosplay con specific spin-off version. So that is me.
Nice. And you'll get to learn more about Ben later on when we do his solo interview for Cosplay Contacts Cosplay Photographer, if you want to know more
Looking
about
forward
that.
to it.
And again, I'm also joined by Bob Greenwade, aka One Eyed Cosplay.
Yes,
One,
you can tell because it says so right there.
oh, yeah, right there in the name. Makes it easier now, too.
Yes, it makes it a lot easier to not put at the end. But hello, I'm Bob Greenwade, aka One Eyed Cosplay.
And then I'm also joined by returning guest who was this their second time on Cosplay Con Talk for convention recap, Becca Sue, also known as Rekaroo Cosplay.
Hello, that's me. I cosplay. I like mostly doing mashups, and that's kind of my spiel.
Oh yeah. Be sure to check out their Facebook and Instagram for a lot of mashups they have done, which we'll be talking about some of the cosplays they did. So to begin, and I'll start off with you, Ben. Was this your first time ever going to Emerald City?
This was so I've been to Emerald City for many, many years as a person. This is my second time going to Emerald City as a vendor. So I was able to get into Emerald City 2022 in August.
Mm.
So I did August, and then this is my first March, like once they finally kind of like went back to their post-pandemic normal schedule.
Man, that's just like September, October, November, December.
Yeah, 6 months
February,
ago.
March.
It
Six.
just
Wow.
Yeah.
I just can't imagine how quick they had a plan.
Last ECCC, I did ECC, and then essentially it was Rose City right on its heels, and then my wedding season, and then the Christmas season, and then more wedding shows and school sports. And I've been working 7 days a week since last ECC, so for the past
Oh, jeez.
6
But
months.
still, that 6 months to plan ECC 2023. That's not a long time. That's
It is
They
not.
probably it originally was in March pre-pandemic, and then of course COVID happened,
And they're finally
they
getting back to their
post-
regular schedule. Yep.
Yeah, they
nice.
postponed 20. They canceled 20. They postponed 21 until it was clear out in November.
They did like a
And
December holiday one at one
Oh,
point. Yeah, so they're
yeah,
finally
that was
getting back to
November.
their regular
I,
schedule.
It was
I just
November
can't imagine.
21, and then they started migrating it back. So 22 was in August, and 23 is back home in March.
Yep.
But now it's
Jeez,
in early March instead of late March.
that's still crazy. Like having to plan months, like months in advance, real fast for the next one, because that doesn't give you a whole lot of time to get the guests, the vendors.
No.
And I heard,
they knew what they were going to do. They knew ahead of time what they were going to do when they went to November.
oh, I
It's
believe it.
just it just leaves the rest of us the shorter period of time. to
Oh,
plan,
oh
so.
yeah, yeah. Now Bob, now I know this has not been your first time going to ECC, if I'm not mistaken.
This is my second one. I went last year and the big difference is the facility. I've described that building. I described the previous
Yeah.
building, the Arch building, as being sort of the love child of M.C. Escher and Franz Kafka, with H.P. Lovecraft as the godfather. Uh, and
That's
you know,
not entirely inaccurate.
yeah, that it is, something that I don't know. I do not know what the architects were thinking. It's like the visual aesthetics over the physical ergonomics. This one kind of went the other way around, although they did not skimp on the visual aesthetics. It is a very attractive building to look at on the outside. The halls are nice to look at on the inside, and it is essentially cubicle. So nothing is too far from anything else. You can get
Ooh.
around very easily using uh, I was aware of two elevator banks and one huge escalator bank, and I understand there were a couple of other escalator sets that I didn't find. So it's really easy to get around.
Oh,
Um,
I I,
the
I believe it.
the tight space in the artist alley was the only thing I had troubles with as far as that goes, and that's kind of the department of what you're going to do.
Oh yeah, I remember seeing Ben's. I think it was your story or photo where you're like standing on the top floor, having an arrow pointed to where your booth was.
Yeah, so as you go down the escalators to the basement, there's like a mezzanine level, and that mezzanine level, I don't know really what all's there, but that mezzanine level has a cutout picture window of the basement main expo hall floor. So it was you already have to go down to see that picture window, but I went down and I took a picture of that. So I was wondering why my sales were slow on Thursday and Friday, and so on Saturday I'm scrolling the con page and I
No
just
one
see
knows.
comment after comment of people going like, "Did you know there's a basement?"
The main
No
And
one
I
exhibition
was
knows.
in
hall
the
was in the
basement.
basement.
So yeah.
Before
No one
before
knew.
we go all in before we go all into that, Becca, I know this is also not your first time going to ECC.
It was not. It was my second. I also went to the August version that just happened. Seems so soon. And yeah, it was crazy hectic. I definitely had a better time this time, even though it was probably as hectic.
I,
But
I,
yeah,
I
this
can
was only my
imagine.
second time, so I don't have a ton of comparison for it.
Man, but still, the fact that you all went to ECC last year and knowing that it's 6 months shy away, like again, I can't imagine having to prepare for that, getting your hotels, and
So
literally within months apart, I can imagine people trying to get their hotels booked to be ready for the one that was going to go on a month later. Like,
Yeah, there were 3 ECCs in a 12-month time span.
yeah,
whoo, shice. That's crazy. Oh yeah, it makes me. At least I have a year to prepare for next year.
Almost a year, yeah.
Oh, jeez, yeah, no kidding. Um, Ben, what was it like doing photos at ECC this year?
Oh, it was fantastic. I mean, I love doing the photos. I love seeing all the cosplays that come through. When people come through and I can be like, "Hey, I know your character," and I call them by the character's name. They go, "Oh, you recognize me," and like that feels nice too. But there's also a bunch of people that come through and just either shows I haven't watched or like really obscure animes or just like, "Hey, that one show that only ran for like 3 episodes in the '90s." I'm like, "Yeah, I have no idea. Sorry." But no, I just love seeing everyone's stuff. Like I said, Thursday and Friday was just super slow. I think everyone was new building who dis.
Oh, oh, I bet.
We were just everyone was just kind of figuring out the new space and learning how it all works. So I think we all got it now for next time.
Basically, baby's first steps.
Yeah.
Oh, that's insane. Yeah, I imagine people were getting. I imagine all of you were like lost and confused.
Yeah, so for reference, at the last ECC, I was right next to the green ECC sign inside the vendor hall.
I remember seeing
So
pictures of that on
yeah,
your
so
Instagram.
everyone saw me. It
good
was super
spot.
easy, and I was essentially busy from the time the door opened to the time they turned the lights off at the end and said, "Everyone go home," all 4 days.
Oh, man, that
And
cost
this
four
year it
days.
was significantly. It was that way on Saturday. But yeah, the other days it was just people kind of walking around trying to find stuff.
Oh, that's right, because EC it starts on Thursday and then goes through. Ay, ay,
Yep,
ay.
four day
It's a
four
4-day
day
con.
con.
Ooh, that's gonna be a busy con if I ever get the chance to cover that for a convention show. Oh wow, yeah.
There's a
Uh,
lot going on for sure. One thing that I
so
did hear from a lot of people though is they appreciated that everything's in one building, so they don't have to like find a hotel down the street for that one panel that they want to see.
Good to know. Becca, how did you like ECC 2023 this year so far? I know you and Bob were both doing the Pacific Northwest Guild of Cosplayers.
yeah, I got to run into Bob again, which was awesome.
Yeah,
Um,
we weren't watching where we were going. No, go ahead, go ahead.
yeah. No, it was hectic. It was pretty overwhelming. I had a great time. There was a lot going on. There was a lot to see. A lot of Star Wars actors were there, so there was tons of really good Star Wars cosplays, which was,
There were.
I mean, it's always so, I mean, all the cosplays are fun to see, but the Star Wars ones, I feel like a lot of people go way out for, so that was really cool.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah,
mean you
there
had
was a
Katie
couple
Sackhoff
of,
there.
yeah, there was a couple of, I don't know, that's a nice analogy of like baby's first steps, because there was a lot of stumbling. Um,
Oh,
there were a
totally
couple of
understand.
times where the escalator would try and like drop you off, and there was just nowhere to go, so you had to just like walk in place while waiting for people to move.
Oh jeez, I'm
Um,
unfamiliar with escalators and cons.
The escalators broke at one point too.
and the
Everyone fell over it.
escalators
Oh,
kept breaking, and they kept
that
trying
was
to
the worst.
traffic
I imagine the escalators
control
were
them.
just like. I imagine the escalators like too many people, too many people.
Yeah, the escalator needed a break.
Oh
Um,
jeez,
Yeah,
seriously,
there's
literally,
the worst of
literally.
it was that it was the only up escalator, or at least out of the they had a bank of three escalators, and they had one that went up, one that went down, and one that could go either way, depending on the needs at the moment, in the middle. And the one that went up from 1 to 2 stopped working at one point on Saturday,
Oh
and
man.
they
the
didn't think
busiest day.
they didn't think to reverse the middle one for whatever reason. I don't know. I um, I went to use it, and it wasn't working. And with my legs, I am not going up that big a flight of stairs.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't
And
blame I honestly don't blame you. Like from what I've seen, the pictures, and I'll be eventually looking at a YouTube video of a walkthrough because I'm kind of curious on how ECC was. Like it looked packed from seeing
Yeah.
Triple Click's photos of like the con floor and to seeing yours and Becca's photos. I mean, yeah. I real also to you, Bob.
I
What
ended up
was it
taking the
like?
elevator, by the way.
What was it
I ended
like
up taking
being?
the elevator for that trip because it's waiting for the elevator.
Oh no, I don't blame you. Speaking of, what
Like,
was it like being? What was it like doing the Pacific Northwest Guild of Cosplayers thing?
really a lot easier than I expected. Because I was there with people who were kind of veterans of the table. So it's kind of like hey, I'm here representing people who are new to the guild, and he's here representing people who actually know what they're talking about. So,
Nice.
but I was able to get into the spiel a little bit, and I heard Becca do it well, and I got to visit for a while with another relative newcomer who was there alone and went through the whole thing really well. So, and it was cool seeing the cosplayers, kind of watching the cosplayers come to me and walk by, and some really excellent ones, and um, got a couple of photos of some really cool ones too.
Nice.
Well, and the
Speaking,
cosplayers, we had like our own room. It was like a whole room full of cosplay booths and guilds and organizations. So we were just like in our own little space, and we got like front row to all of the cosplays coming to the booths. Like,
That's
I
not
don't know,
even
it was
counting the
our own little
six rooms
corner.
that we had.
oh
That's not
yeah,
even
that's a
counting the
lot of
six rooms
rooms.
that we had for cosplay repair, cosplay
Yeah.
hospitality lounge, panels, cosplay
Ooh.
meetups.
Speaking of, I know they couldn't be here, but also shout out to Joel, who is also a member of the Pacific Northwest Guild of
Yes,
Cosplayers.
Joel the Geek.
Yep. Yeah, yeah, I know him again. As I said before, Triple Click, you've been mentioned quite a bit on this channel.
Yeah.
One question I'm also going to start asking. Go away notification. It's something I actually thought about. I'll start with again with triple click. What was day one like of ECC?
Day one. Well, again, this year was not a normal one. It was brand new building. You know, it was super slow. I didn't see anyone till like noon. It's just day one. I mean, the rest of the days of just like yeah, it was super busy, and there's a flow to the cons. This one was just the anomaly because new building.
Oh yeah. Um, Becca, you got to go in the last 2 days, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
What was when you got there on Saturday? What was it like when you got there on Saturday with your friend?
Woo. Saturday was so busy.
Yeah, it was.
Saturday was insane. It was so packed. I did not get to go through Artist Alley at all because, like, every time I peeked in, they just weren't even moving through the aisles. Like, Saturday was really busy.
It's always a Saturday for cons that are always like jam
Always,
Always
packed.
that.
always.
It's like a can of sardines. Everyone is just like, okay, move,
Well,
take
people
two
have
steps.
jobs, so that's your Thursday, Friday ride out.
Oh no, I mean like it's just I swear like the big cons that are filled. It's
Yeah.
like no one's moving. You just hear someone in the background yell, "Move! Take two steps. Wait a few seconds. Move. Do it again." Oh, jeez. Yeah,
Yeah.
no,
So
the cons.
Saturday was
Is,
packed. It was hopping though. There was a lot of cool things happening, but it was pretty like I don't know, anxiety inducing. Sunday was much better. It was the same amount of enjoyable with slightly less sardine type feels.
well, because it's the last day, everyone's just like did their partying and everything. So then people will like pre-party before day one, and then like party on Saturday, and then just like don't do anything over the top on Sunday.
Yep.
Oh, jeez. Bob, back to you. The last we were talking, you had just gotten done with day one when we did the fan expo recap.
Yeah. Um, so that which was plenty of fun. Had been going to get my new photo on Thursday for Captain Clutch, but I opened up my um, suitcase and it turned out the wing had broken off of the hat.
Oh,
Um,
Good thing there's a cosplay
and this
repair
is
station, eh?
there's cosplay
oh yeah.
repair. They're miracle workers. They got that thing fixed. If I can remove that to put a new one to put a whole new one in, then they definitely are miracle workers. But they got that glued back in place nicely. And this is something where I have like a base that goes underneath, and then the wing comes out, and they screw together through this tiny little buttonhole. And um, the other one, it had broken one time before, and made a new base and got it in, and it has held in nicely. And the guys at Cosplay Repair fixed that up, and I left it there overnight and came back on
They
Friday.
are a godsend, and I'm so glad that they're free.
Yeah, anybody goes to Rose City or Rose City or Emerald City, and I think they're putting them up at some of the anime conventions too. If the guild has Cosplay Repair, um, at least go in and say hi so you know where they are. And Trexie Jess, who has kind of run the place, is an absolute charmer who appreciates every single one of my cosplays,
Nice, and I
even the
just
ones
think
that
I
aren't
heard
silly, like the
Kato in the
Shadow.
background.
I'm sure you
Nice.
did.
So now we're going to talk about the stuff you guys did and like cosplay wise. Back to Triple Click. Um, what was it like doing photos, and how many people came by to get pictures from your booth?
Oh man, I don't remember the exact number from this year. Again, this one was a little slower just because the new building, but I think I still did about 2,000 cosplayers over the weekend.
Holy crap! That's especially with that being a new building. That's quite a bit. I'm
And
sure.
it was slow weekend too. Normally I do more.
What's if you can remember, what's the most you ever done for one single con?
Oh, last ECC for sure. And the only reason ECC beats Rose City is just because Rose City's only 3 days.
Fair enough.
Yep.
So
Um,
that fourth day, that's a whole nother day where people
oh,
come through. Like I said,
oh,
last
okay.
August, it was from 10 a.m. till floor close. I was shooting just during a busy rush, I can do up to like 100 cosplayers an hour, but usually I do about 30 to 50 an hour. So you can do your own math on how many people kind of how many
I'm gonna
hours.
say
Yeah,
I'm
it was a
gonna go
lot.
on a I'm gonna go on a limb here and say in the last CCC you did way more than 2,000.
I did. Yeah, it was closer to 3 or 4,000 last DCC. Yeah.
Damn.
No, it was super fun though. I also try to cosplay every single day too.
I was just about to ask that.
Yeah,
Did you get the chance to cosplay this
I
year?
did. Yeah, so I'm a little fuzzy on which day I did what, but my go-to I'm also a member of this 501st, so I have over the
Ooh,
top cosplays.
you're not the first person from the 501st to be on this channel, by the
Yeah,
way.
so I have a special forces first order TIE pilot and like an Imperial bridge crew. My wife has a Jawa. She's working on a first order executioner
I
and a
love
rebel
it.
pilot. Like yeah, I even built a mouse droid. So like I've got some over the top stuff. But when
Oh, I would love to see your mouse droid.
I have a whole video of that. I'll send you later.
Oh,
Yeah.
sweet, thank you.
So but when I cosplay at a convention, like I need visibility and movement. So all my cosplays are just clothes. So I've got Fix It Felix, which people really love and appreciate.
Oh, from Rick and Rel, nice.
Yeah. I've got Todd Ingram. He's evil ex-boyfriend number 3 from Scott Pilgrim.
Oh yeah.
Is that Chris Evans' character?
No, that one's Brandon Routh.
Okay, I haven't watched the movie in a long time, so
Yeah, and he does have a wig that I wore it the first couple of times, but then I'm like, nah, I'm lazy, I'm not gonna. But I styled it in the down position because chicken parm is too delicious. Um, and then I've got a TVA Loki, so it is the exact shirt and tie that he wears in the TV show, but no one ever recognizes that one. They're like, "Are you
so those are the
cosplaying a
ones you
businessman?" Yeah, businessman with glorious purpose.
so those are the ones you did for ECC this year?
Yes. Let's see. Last year I did Grandmaster, but I decided to leave that one at home. Let's see. There was something else that I broke out this year. I can't remember what it is now.
Yeah, if
Oh,
you
but
have
I did
if,
Buddy the Elf this year because down in the
Oh
basement was freezing my
yeah.
nutcracker off. Um,
if you have photos of those, please feel free to send those because, like I said, if you're able to send the photos either later tonight, tomorrow, or early Saturday, I can get this up at a decent time.
Yeah, I can send you some stuff. So this weekend because the basement was freezing, I set up wearing like my down jacket. I'm like, I'm gonna do Buddy the Elf just so I can wear winter gear.
I can't imagine how cold.
So I did that on Friday, I think, and people really enjoyed it.
Especially with how cold it was up in Washington here, where it's still snowing. So I imagine with the cold outside, it was extra cold.
Yeah,
inside.
floors 2 through however tall the building went. Everyone's like, "Oh my god, it's 1,000,000 degrees in here. We're melting." And down in the basement, I'm like,
Like, is there like a warm level? Oh,
so
geez.
yeah, no, it's fun because I get to see other people's cosplay, but then I also get to participate in it too, which is cool.
Nice. See, I think if like if the photographer wants to cosplay, that's always like the best thing ever.
Yeah, I mean, especially at con, when else am I gonna do it? Like when I shoot weddings, I'm wearing like
A
suit and
tux or
tie.
something. Oh yeah. No. Becca, I know we talked about your cosplays, but what cosplays did you do this year?
I did a little bit of recycling from Fan Expo. So I did the Sailor Neptune, Princess Mermista mashup, which I improved. I don't think it turned out better, but I did some
I
different things for it.
Updated.
I remember you showing me the little starfish headpiece you made.
Yeah, I made a thing for the first time. I'm trying so hard to work on props. Like even if they suck and even if it's just me improving an existing item, like I'm trying to really work on props this year. So I picked up some really cheap foam and I just molded it and I put some real rubies in it, which looked pretty cool. And I don't know. It didn't turn out fantastic, but I did it, so there's that.
Nice.
So yeah, she was my day one, which was Saturday. And then I did, of course, the Jinxie Quinn, Jinx
Still my
Quinn.
favorite one.
I love
It's
her so much. I'm so sad that I didn't make it to Triple Click. It was like really high on my priority list. I really wanted photos taken of Jinxie Quinn because it's my bubble shooter is pretty cool.
the fact that you gutted out a stuffed shark and fit the bubble gun in there is impressive.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool little prop. I'm pretty proud of that one, which again is one I did not necessarily make, but I put together and kind of made. So yeah, I really liked it though. Those were my two this year. And the Jinxie Quinn got recognized a ton. It was a lot of fun. I had a good time with her.
So she's basically as I would. She's a fan favorite, and it sounds like she's one you would like to bring back again.
Oh yeah, I would like to. I'm not sure how to improve upon her because I like it so much, but every time I do it, I'm sure I'll get better and better. So she's one I'd like to keep doing.
Nice.
And
And
maybe
last
I'll
but not
make
least,
it to triple click next time.
Yeah, please do because that sounds really cool. I love those super unique mashups.
I can't wait to see. And last but not least, Bob, what cosplays did you happen to do this year for ECC?
Well, let's see. Day one, I mentioned the Captain Clutch, which was day two. Hadn't been intended for day one, but it ended up, the whole repair station thing. But so day one, I opened up with Redneck Bunny Fufu.
Still, still one of my all-time favorites, and the fact that you're able to wear the fur around your arms and is just
Yeah, they got the arm sleeves on. I think I'd like to go into all the details on how I put that together on some other podcast because it could
oh
take a
yeah.
good
Whenever we
5-10 minutes to describe.
whenever we do like a big build cosplay panel, podcast panel, definitely.
Or signature cosplays.
Or signature.
Um,
Oh, signature. Ooh, that's a good one.
yeah, that because that and the shadow are kind of my two signatures, I think. Um, and let's see, I think the only other one I brought out that day was the Invisible Man. Um, and then then I went ahead and I got Captain Klutz on day two, which let's see. Yeah, I had that was the day I also did. I think I did Jedi Elvis,
Ooh.
um, which is still not beyond having its wardrobe malfunctions.
I still need to do. I still need to go as Jedi Elton John with you on that one.
Yes, and I have somebody who's wanting to.
Absolutely.
And I still have somebody who is interested in doing a Dark Jedi Gene Simmons, and
I love it.
and a
My
woman
friend
who's
Tony
very head
wants
up,
to.
and a woman who is
Oh,
very
sorry.
head up about doing Jedi Annie Lennox.
Ooh. You were saying, Ben?
Oh, my friend Tony wants to do a Jedi Fozzie Bear, Luke Skywalker Waka.
Ah.
I'm trying to talk Becca into doing a Jedi Madonna. So
Ooh.
I think we
I
could
might
do.
do a Dark Jedi Janis Joplin.
That could work
It's
too.
Ooh.
Yeah,
That.
Jedi,
Ooh.
the
thinking.
Dark
I'm
Jedi
thinking.
means purple or orange lightsabers.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
So
So yeah. What was the rest of the cosplays you did for ECC?
well, let's see. After I was done with Jedi Elvis, went with the Sixth Doctor. We had the Doctor Who cosplay
That's
meetup. Um, Doctor, beat the Doctor, the Doctor, the Doctor, the Doctor. Then let's see. I think all day Saturday I was really Old Man Logan. Had the Marvel
Mhm.
meetup. And then Sunday, when my legs were starting to peter out, I spent the whole day as Harpo Marx.
Nice. And I think you got some pictures taken by Triple Click as well.
I
Pretty sure I
did.
got all those,
Besides the
if not
Captain
this
Klutz.
year. Yeah.
Yeah, I did the redo of Captain Klutz because compare side by side with the old one. had done at Rose.
I saw a big difference with his hat too.
Yeah, well,
Oh yeah.
the real difference was that when I got the first one done at Rose City, there was masks on, and I decided to go all
Right.
in with Captain Klutz wearing the surgical masks. I put three of them over the lower half of my face, had one hanging off my right ear, and another one sticking up through my left eye hole. Um, which
uh,
also helped because it obscured my left eye. But I couldn't. You couldn't see anything but my right eye, and um, when I determined that it was too much of a pain in the butt to take those off and back on again, I determined I'm not going to be able to eat and drink in this.
oh,
So I could.
yeah, that's
It was
always.
that was a Sunday, fortunately, and but now I have hat mask only photos of Captain Klutz, and it's very nice, I think, and got that, um, and I got Logan, which I just found on Triple Click's page and posted the one I'm sharing to my Facebook,
Nice.
and hopefully it won't be too much longer before I get my Harpo.
Nice. So show of hands here. Anyone have any convention funny moments, horror stories they'd like to share from this con? Starting with Becca, what kind of awkward, funny convention moments did you have this year?
I think my favorite one, it happened, I was a little bit overwhelmed because I was sardined into one of the aisles, and I was thinking like, God, I am so crammed against this person in front of me that I can smell their breath. And I looked up and it was Reese Darby.
Who?
Oh man. He's from
My
Flight
age
of
is
the
showing me.
Conchords, and he's from the gay pirate show Our Flag Means Death. He's from so many things. He's a
Ooh,
New Zealander comedian.
I think I've heard
He's
of
like
him.
best friends with Taika Waititi, which is a big deal for me. Anyways, but I like looked up and he was right there, and he like looked me in the face, and I like went and he like
You,
smiled and kept walking, and I was like
you basically
frozen for a
fangirled.
second, and I went, that was Reese Darby, and his wife, who was right behind him, goes, no, it wasn't.
Shh, you didn't see anything.
Exactly. So I was like, no, it
These are
wasn't.
not
I
the joys you
didn't
were
see
looking
him.
for.
Never mind. It was pretty funny. I love that man. I'm such a huge fan. It was just so funny because I was like really grumpy, and I was about to look up and be grumpy, and I was like,
I'll let it slide because you're on one of my favorite shows.
that's right.
No disrespect to Reese here. No, we don't poke to that.
Oh no, he's
Bob,
fantastic.
what were some of your awkward convention horror story moments?
Um, well, I've mentioned that I'm continuing to have these wardrobe problems with my Jedi Elvis. Um, when I first when I first did it at um, NorWestCon, the tabards kept falling off, and so I put buttons on them and put button holes in the tunic, and put a button in the tunic so I could button it at the side and keep it from coming off. And then I went to SummerCon the same year, and the pants were so loose that I was halfway from the hotel to the venue, and they kind of came down to almost my knees. Which
It was almost
fortunately,
look. You
fortunately
didn't
the
want to flush
tunic
the
is
con.
yeah part yeah, it wasn't well. I had on my underwear plus the tunic was long enough. In this case, I'm still having problems with the sash, and somehow the belt is too big. So I had the sash. I finally managed to get the sash and the belt on the way they're supposed to be, but they were still loosening and too loose. And so I ended up undoing the sash and tying it at a knot at my hip like I did the very first time. And the sash, I had my cell phone hanging on it, and it had gone from like tight right around my waist until being worn low like a gunslinger's gun holster. And
Uh,
so I'm getting a smaller belt, and I'm putting buttons in the sash to hold it in place. And hopefully, about that time I get those done, I'll be able to finally finish the cape and get a new lightsaber.
ooh, can't wait.
Yeah.
So another new question I'm going to start asking. Well, some of your favorite cosplays that you all saw. Starting with Ben, what were some of your favorite cosplays that you got to see at
Oh
con?
god, I saw so many. Well, again, my favorite cosplays are always ones that are like really unique or mashup or something. I think my favorite one this year is there was a dice goblin.
Oh, a dice goblin like D and
Yeah, they
D?
were yeah, they were a little goblin and they had a backpack full of like these giant foam dice that they made. And they had these little like hair braids made out of like D20s and stuff and they had their little thing and they had their purse was a plushy D20. So one of the photos is I had them turn it with the one up and they're going
Oh,
because I'm also a little dice goblin, so that
that
just made
is
my heart
so
happy.
cool. I mean,
Um
I know you can't show without their permission on here.
Well, I mean, it's public on my Facebook page,
Oh,
so there's
well,
that.
with your permission,
Yeah.
could that be shown on here?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay, I'll
I'll
have to.
find for it. So yeah, the Dice Goblin was super fun. I one of my friends they did a 7 of 11. So it was a mashup Star Trek cosplay plus 7-Eleven logo on his backpack. um,
I mean,
uh,
like,
there was someone else who was just an NPC. He was just wearing like leather tabard type thing, but he had a big like speech bubble sign, and it was just like "Hello, adventurer." And
oh
like
man,
those are the ones that kind of tickle me in a special way. And it's just like oh,
that dice goblin one, that is just
That's a good
oh,
one.
that's
yeah,
really
so there
cool.
are some cosplays where people did amazing, incredible jobs, but it's like, oh, you are clearly that character. My just personal favorites are those ones that just like, oh, it's a slight twist, or it's really funny, or it's a mashup, or like you just went like the extra mile to do something, you know?
Oh, those are always the
Yeah.
best. Becca, I know we kind of talked about it on your Facebook, but what were some of your favorite cosplays you got to see this year at ECC?
Oh man, there's so many. I really liked the Lumiere. I think I sent you the
Hmm.
picture.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
that I
was
mean,
so good.
the
So
amount
good.
of gold they had to put on their body, so well done. I couldn't stand that long having that much gold, but that was a really impressive cosplay.
It was
It
really
totally
cool.
was.
There was a lot. I sat through the cosplay competition, the crown one on Saturday, and it was insane. It was so cool.
Those people are
Everyone
so
on
talented.
stage was phenomenal. It was so good. Yeah, there was a lot. Again, there was a lot of really good Star Wars ones. I was really impressed by some of the creative Star Wars ones that were popping up. And again, that Lumiere man, he just threw me. Oh,
If I ever
really?
if I ever find him on Instagram, I want to ask him how he made the candle pieces.
It's foam. I'm pretty sure he explained it. It was pretty. It was, and it just the foam was really perfect because it's all porous like candle wax. Like it was just he did such a good job. But another
He's
one that
brilliant.
stood out that was actually like competition was Bram Stoker's Dracula. She did like the red leather dress, and then she took off a mask, and it was a full latex vampire, just sunken, gnarled skin. It was phenomenal. It was
I
so cool.
swear at these big cons, people go all out at these big cons.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's where you go all out, right? Why else? Where
Yeah,
else?
I've seen people go all out at small cons, but like I feel like the big cons are like they're gonna enter a cosplay contest
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
just go to
I
this
mean,
to
I go
show off their
all out
work.
on Wednesday, but like,
um, Bob, what are some of your favorite cosplays that you got to see at con this year?
I was equally impressed with that Lumiere,
it was so good.
because it was just kind of a it's not a character you expect to see. Plus, it was so kind of next level in the skill set. Um, as something that's kind of first level in the skill set, but also really brilliant was the guy who was dressed as Alligator Loki.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you okay? You saw him too, Becca.
Yeah, he was
Yeah,
great.
it was at the Marvel meetup. I've seen Alligator Loki before, just as the kid Loki carrying him around, kind of like on the show. But this guy, alligator onesie and the Loki headband, and that reads as Alligator Loki, and I just thought it was fantastic. I got a picture of
Yeah.
it.
Nice.
Um,
I definitely got to show that one too.
I still have it just on my phone. I'll send it. I'll send that to you.
Nice.
I also liked the guy who was dressed as, it was just a store bought Super Grover,
Ah,
uh,
Oh yeah.
which was a lot of fun. Saw one that I wish I'd gotten a picture of. If you've seen the trailers for the Bob's Burger movie, where the wife is in a bikini around a hamburger
the
suit.
burger, the burkini.
That
Linda
one, yeah.
in her burkini outfit.
I
Yes.
wish I gotten a picture of that, and one that I didn't get to see, but would have gotten a picture of. I only saw it on the Triple Click site. Was a guy who was very effectively dressed as Mayhem from the
Yeah,
Progressive
that was fun.
commercials.
Oh,
He put a little band-aid right here and wore a suit. That was it. But I
Didn't even get
looked at him,
the usual injuries you see
but I
on the
looked at him and
face.
I said, "Sir, did you cut yourself or are you Mayhem from the commercial?" And he's like, "Yeah, the second one." I'm like, "Oh!"
We may have another person entering um the chat. Just a minute. While I'm chatting with them, I think one of my favorite ones. I didn't get to go, but I saw pictures. It was someone in a Mandalorian cosplay. They were wearing fishnets.
Was it the Glam DeLorean?
Yes,
Was
that
it
was the one.
rhinestoned and
And they were wearing fishnets and
yeah.
everything. Yep, that's
And
the one.
and
the
so
fan
the
said
person they
slay
were
or
with,
something.
yeah, the person they were with had the rhinestoned gladiator and they won the cosplay contest
Yes.
VFX category.
Yes.
And then they
Yes.
got photos in my booth.
So
And actually, I will be posting a selfie later because the shield was a mirror, so I got a selfie
the
in the
shield.
mirror.
The shield.
Yeah, they
So
did
cool.
like a really cool infinity mirror with LEDs in there. But then when they won, they came back the next day and they got photos again with the medal, being like, "We won!" So yeah, I'll be posting that one too. They were super cool.
I will definitely
I
look out
also
for that.
saw more Beetlejuice cosplayers than I knew what to do with.
A
I
lot of
think
people juice.
between what I saw myself and what I saw in pictures and other videos, I think there were like 5 a day on average, 5 Beetlejuice a day
That's
of
That's
one
a good
style or
number.
another.
that's pretty
It was bizarre.
impressive. Well, so we may have another person join here soon, so we will have to catch them up to speed. Um, I guess now also while we're waiting for them, Ben, what were some of your favorite moments of the con just in general?
Oh man. So some of my favorite moments are definitely since I've got my little 10 by 20 booth and I don't leave all day. Like I send my assistants for food and that's it. Like I'm just there. But when people come by, I have my regulars and they go, "Yep, as always, these are amazing. Thank you." But the people that go, "Nah, I'm not really feeling it." And then their friends kind of like peer pressure them into it and they're like, "You should give it a try." And I'm like, "Yeah, it's free to try. You don't have to buy
Oh
anything.
wait, it's free.
It's free to
Nice.
try." So I take your photo and then you see your photo and go, "Damn it, I have to give you money now. These are amazing."
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Uh,
yes, yeah, I don't upsell or peer pressure or anything like that, but like, I can't sell you a photo if I don't take it first. So yeah, once people get into the booth and go, "Oh, these are amazing! Oh my god, I can't believe I look that good! Like, how did you do that?" I'm like, "That's you. That's what you look like. You're just up on the screen now." Like, those are kind of my favorite moments. Um, I gotta say though, my favorite moment from this con didn't happen until Monday. So there was like a 2 minute interaction that I had with somebody. What happened was on the day they came by and they were wearing, and I didn't even recognize it at the time. I started while I was editing. I watched Everything Everywhere All at Once, and it's
Oh,
one of the like costume changes when she's like fighting in a hallway, and you see it on screen for like 5 seconds. But as soon as I saw that, I'm like, I saw that cosplayer this weekend. Um, so she came by the booth and she has this big fur coat, and it was just kind of like hanging down, and she was looking really blocky, and the photo so I said, hey, just give me a second. So I pulled a clamp off one of my pieces of gear, and I said, I'm going to clamp your back so that you can have a nice silhouette. She's like, oh, great, thank you. So I put that clamp on there to, you know, kind of tighten the jacket behind her. We do her photo set. She looks at it and goes, oh, these are great, thank you. You know, pays me money and leaves. 2-minute interaction tops. But on Monday, I'm watching Everything Everywhere All at Once, and all of a sudden, I'm recognizing a lot more of the cosplays that came through this weekend. So I grab a couple of them and I post them. And she's like, "Oh my gosh, I'm the second one there. I just want to say thank you so much. I don't know what it was, but I was feeling really down on myself, and I just was not in it, and I was just having a bad Saturday. And when you offered that clip for my jacket, it like saved the whole rest of the day. And I saw the amazing photo, and then the rest of the day was like fantastic. And like it was something that I didn't even know I did, but it was just like, I saved your Saturday. Oh my, you're gonna make me cry. So that like those kind of things for me, when people are like, oh my god, this is amazing, of just like that's what I live for. That's why I do what I do. So yeah, that one didn't come till Monday. Like I was tired, I was exhausted, I'm sitting on my couch eating chips and editing people's, you know, photos. But then that comment came through on my Instagram, and I'm like, oh, that's fantastic.
Nice. So, yes, wait and see if that one person will come on. I do not know. Becca, what were some of your favorite moments at con?
oh gosh. I probably hanging out at the Niobe table.
The what?
I Niobe, the graphic novels.
I'm
Oh, they're so good. I wish I could recall the author and the artist right off the top of my head, but um their table gets bigger every year, and it just makes my little heart so happy. But I walked by, and everyone in their booth was in cosplay from their stories. And so I stopped and was chatting with them, and I was like, "Yeah, I only have the second book." And this girl was like so animated. It was like, "Who did you wrong and gave you book 2 without book 1?"
ooh.
So,
Never a good start when you're reading the second. Never a start when you're reading the sequel.
yeah, so she got me hooked up with the prequel, book 1, a hardcover of book 2, so that I could get all the extras I was missing out on in book 3 and book 4. But she talked to me for like an hour just at the booth, and we just kind of chilled and looked at other cosplays, and then she flipped through some of the books, and you know, she got the author, the creative director, and the lead colorist to like sign my books for me, and they were all having conversations with me and told me about how they went out dancing the night before, and I just was standing there for like a full hour just like vibing with like-minded nerdy people, and it was so wonderful. Like that's what the
Nice.
con is for me. It was so nice. But I love that table. I love that storyline. And so it was really cool to vibe that hard with people at that booth and get all their signatures too.
Nice. Bob, what were some of your
That's cool.
favorite convention moments from this con?
Well, one of them was when Becca relieved me at the table, and I got to chat for a while with her face to face and talk about weird mashups and mashup ideas and various cosplay stuff. Um, um, you know, and of course, I'm just going to be just to be fair. Also going to mention each visit I made to Triple Click, including the one on Friday when I just went in to say hi.
Yep.
On Thursday, rather, when I just went in to say hi. Now I know where you are. I can find you guys when I come to get my photo of Captain Clutch later. Um, and there still are a couple more that I'm going to get old ones that I'm going to get done at Rose City. So, and if Becca, if you're there at Rose City, I will find you, pick you up, and carry you over to Triple Click.
You just see Bob walking with Becca over his shoulder.
The full
Well,
Jinx
my carry
Harley
is a little
cosplay
more
and
like
all.
this, but it carries more like this. But you try to imagine me in my Richard Castle carrying
Over his
your
shoulder,
Jinx and Quinn.
and just Becca just squeezing her bubble gun.
Yeah. So anyway,
Oh,
also this was this for me was unusually celebrity light. I did not get any celebrity photos for the first time since the pandemic. Any celebrity autographs. I only went to one celebrity panel, but it was a
Mhm.
celebrity panel worth going to because it was the voice actors from Star Wars: The Clone Wars.
Yeah.
Mhm.
A
ooh.
lot
So
of
we
people told me
had
about that one.
Ashley Eckstein, Matt Lanter, um, D. Bradley Baker, and
Stupid.
um, I'm drawing a blank on his name. It did Obi Wan.
James Arnold Taylor.
James Arnold Taylor.
Yeah, I
And
saw photos off his Instagram that he was at ECC. It's like, damn! Now I wish I could have gone because he also voiced one of my other favorite characters from Final Fantasy X.
yeah, of course, Dee and James are both, as you would expect, completely insane.
Oh, I've seen interviews, but they're great voice actors.
Yeah. And the funny thing was um, I sat right near the microphone in the aisle, specifically so I could get at or near the front of the line. I ended up like 15th in line, and I never got to ask my question. But I was lucky that the second to last person in line who got to ask a question on my side asked the main question, which is, "What was your favorite line?" And James's was the one that is well, Matt's and James's are the ones that see stick in my mind. I remember Ashley's, which was "I'm no Jedi." Matt said, "Let's get this party started." I don't remember what Dee's. I don't remember what Dee's was. I think it was the Captain Rex line somewhere along the way, but um, James had something with both Obi Wan and Plo Koon. I don't remember what Plo Koon's was, but with Obi Wan, it was from his favorite episodes. She's not my girlfriend.
Oh yeah, with Satine Wren.
Yeah, so I don't.
Liar.
Yeah,
I remember that one.
I had a good time with that. That was where I was having my wardrobe malfunction with the sash, standing in line there as Jedi Elvis. Um, but that was definitely worth going to and seeing the guys. And I wish their lines hadn't been so busy, for me to go through. If Matt had been in the photo op, or D rather had been in the photo op for the four of them, I would have gone and gotten one, but it was a little steep for
Nice.
somebody substituting him.
Oh, and I think I could be wrong, but I think I also saw like some of the cast from Scream there as well.
Yes, yes, and
I,
I know
Matthew
the and
Lillard.
the
yeah,
and
I
I'm
saw his video. I saw ECC's video of his on stage panel thing.
yeah, and there were a number of people who were real excited about meeting Matthew Lilliard as
Oh,
well.
I'll bet.
I would love to. I would so totally get a photo op with all four of the live action Scooby Gang.
Yeah, that would be cool.
That'd be pretty cool. So now I asked about what your guys' favorite cosplays to see. What were some of your favorite cosplays that you did? Ben, what was your all-time favorite cosplay to do at ECC this year?
Oh, well, I mean, I already listed off all the ones I did. I think my all-time favorite cosplay wasn't actually one that I did this year. But it involves face paint and cameras do not play nice together.
Oh no, 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 no.
So, I do a handsome Jack from Borderlands.
Oh,
Um,
well, yeah. So you did the one where his face was like
yeah,
peeled off, and you
yeah,
had to like
with
staple.
like the face clips. Yep. So I have a handsome Jack, and my wife has a Mad Moxie from the
Well,
Borderlands.
it makes sense because they were married at one time.
Yeah, so she has the red one from the Borderlands 1 DLC, and people are like, "Oh, you look like Mad Moxie. You should do that." She's like, I am," because people just recognize the purple one.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. Her purple is more iconic.
But
Her red.
the only time that I ever got to go to a panel and actually like ask a question, like Bob was talking about, I actually went and saw Damian Clark, who's the voice actor. Except everyone there except me was a Supernatural fan. I was the one Borderlands guy. So I stood up and asked the question. He's like, "You look like Handsome Jack and Michael Cera had a baby." And I'm like, "Thank you." I choose to take that as a compliment.
Take it, might as well take it as a compliment.
Yeah, so I think that's I really enjoy cosplays that I can kind of like. It doesn't necessarily have to be about like what the character looks like for me. I like characters that I can like inhabit. So like Fix It Felix is like, "Oh, thank you, man. How you doing today?" And like Buddy the Elf, you know, "Oh, I know him." And Handsome Jack, just the most lovable a-hole.
Angry elf.
So I just kind of love these cosplays that I can like I can be the character for a little bit. Yeah, so that's one of my favorites.
And it looks like we lost Wayne.
There he is.
Hey, our main host is
wrong button. Abort! You were saying when I accidentally.
Just my favorite cosplays are the ones that I can like inhabit, and it's character
I would love to see. I would love to
kind of
see
like
your
role play for the day.
I would love to see your Handsome Jack in person one of these days. That'd be pretty cool. Becca, out of the two cosplays you did, what were your favorites? What was your all-time favorite?
I mean, the Jinxie Quinn. It's really cool, and also the bubble gun just blowing bubbles was a huge hit. Like every kid within the floor was like bubbles, and parents were like, "Will you please shoot my kid in the face with your bubble gun?" And I was like, "Yeah."
Sure, I'll make sure your kid goes blind.
And they're like, I mean, it was like these parents were like exhausted and their kids like screaming and they're like, "Can you please shoot him with bubbles?" And I was like, "Absolutely." And they would just cheer up for a second. So I was like,
it's the equivalent. Basically, it's the equivalent of Shrek's "Do the Roar."
Yeah. So I was just like leaving a trail of happy children behind me, and it was beautiful. I don't know. I loved it.
That's amazing.
Also, I like the little photo shoot your friend did by that wall of graffiti.
Yes, and that wall of graffiti was done by children right in front of me in broad daylight in the middle of downtown Seattle. It was also beautiful.
So expect to see teenagers do graffiti when I go to Seattle next year. Okay, duly noted.
Absolutely.
Missed opportunity of one of them being dressed up as Delson Rowe from infamous Second Son. If you know, you know. Bob, what were some of your favorite cosplays? What was your favorite cosplay that you did personally?
Out of the ones that I did at Emerald City, the one that I felt worked the best was really Old Man Logan.
I love your Tim Conway wig you used for him.
Oh yeah, there were a number of people who thought that I was doing some kind of variation on Doc Brown because that doubles as my Doc Brown wig for when I go out to do that.
So really good Doc Brown wig though.
Yeah,
you can't blame that.
I would wear it further back for Doc Brown, and this is further forward for any Tim Conway-esque characters, which later on is I'll be doing a take on Quicksilver, a la Evan Peters.
Ooh,
and I just happened to find a costume as the Ancient One, which I think that would just be the thing.
The Ancient
to do,
One,
the Ancient One.
From Doctor Strange?
Yeah.
Okay, I like
instead of the bald head, it's just got the Tim Conway wig.
There are also many variations of the Ancient One. Wow, yeah, okay. Nice.
So also by the end of Saturday, I was able to do the walk without putting it on because I ran out of a couple of my meds, including the ones for the pinched nerves in my legs. So I was not getting around too well by mid Saturday, and actually was feeling kind of crap until late this afternoon.
Oh, that's never fun. Um,
That's
so I
why
don't
my
know.
wigs aren't put back yet.
So I don't know if that one person's coming on because I have like 30 more minutes before we have to end this because it's a time frame thing. Um, Ben, do you plan on going back to ECC next
Absolutely.
year?
Absolutely. I like making money.
And now knowing that there are people who got acclimated to this new convention, I'm sure you're going to get a lot more
Yeah,
photos.
and the other thing too of like you're never really in the same spot twice, so who knows what the layout's going to
I
be
see a
or
cat.
what floor I'll
I
be
see Rip's.
on or
Is that Rip? I see.
It is. Yep. Yep.
Can you show Rip real quick?
who doesn't love it when pets photobomb, right?
Oh,
Show's about her
this
anyway.
this channel is known for having pets coming in out of nowhere. You either hear them or you see them.
It's
Nice.
anytime anything I've been on where if there's a cat, a dog, or a baby within 25 feet of the microphone, there will be an interruption.
Meow, meow, meow.
Yep.
Um, Becca, do you plan on going to ECC next year?
I do. I do. Hopefully I can go for all 4 days next time. And I might, well, I might skip Saturday. It's very overwhelming, but I would
Hey,
like to go more than the 2 days. So
there's nothing wrong with just skipping the one day.
exactly.
Well, I mean, I'm a Seattle native, so it's easy for me. It's a little more of a
Ah,
trek.
yeah.
It's gonna be more of a trip for me because I
Yeah.
live further down in Oregon. I live in the Medford area,
Yeah,
so
I, yeah, I'm in
I
between in Corvallis, so
I got to take a plane. Which I looked at it. It's cheaper to take a plane, and I would get to Seattle like under an hour and a half.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I want to say, Joel. I want to give a shout out to Joel who wasn't able to make it, and also to the other person. I am sorry if you weren't able to make it on here because there's a time frame. I will message them later. Bob, do you plan on going to ECC next year?
probably. I am having increasing issues with the trip back um, via Amtrak because the Amtrak station closes at 5:45, and so
Oh.
that means I have to either catch the train at 7:30 in Seattle or take the Coast Starlight, which has very narrow, steep, very steep stairs to get up to where I would be having meals, or stay an extra night in Portland and then leave in the middle of the day, leave, around midday, my usual midday train from there, or catch a ride from somebody who's driving, or fly from in through Eugene or Salem or uh, something of that nature. So it's transportation issues mainly. But if I can get that sorted out, I would really like to be able to continue going to Emerald City on a regular basis. Um,
I think Wayne
similar issues
froze.
with, yeah, similar issues
Oh no.
with Washington State SummerCon.
Oh yeah.
Uh, but yeah, Ben, is this a con you would recommend for someone who wants to go to a big con in the Seattle area? Because I know,
Well, if you want to go to a big con, this is literally like the biggest con.
I mean,
So
unless you count Dragon Con, which is like the Disneyland
yeah, but
of
where's
media.
Dragon Con?
Oh, yeah,
Atlanta.
fair
That's not
point.
here. Like yeah, if you're talking big ones, there's San Diego, there's New York, there's Dragon Con, WonderCon, et cetera, et cetera. But for the Pacific Northwest, Emerald City, I think, is as big as it gets.
It's bigger than PAX.
Well,
East, West.
Pac, I'm not entirely sure, but I do know that at least there. This is the way it has been trending, and I know some insider knowledge. There are some people on the board that are trying to invite more general population people and cosplayers. But really, the past decade, PAX has been trending towards the industry insiders. So if you don't work in the video game industry, PAX isn't really for you. They're trying to change that going forward,
Which
but
I
that's
think
the
is
way it's been
it
trending.
make it more inclusive, basically.
Yeah, it has very much been trending the past decade or so, where people who are my friends who work in tech still think it's cool, and my friends who don't work in tech are like, eh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So other than that, ECC would be basically
ECC
the
is
big.
the big one.
It
If you're
just in the Pacific Northwest in general, it's bigger than Rose City.
well,
Oh
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
yeah, Rose, it is actually. I looked up numbers for this. Rose City is about trending 3 or 4 years behind Emerald City.
So
So,
Emerald City is older then.
well, it's
Oh
kind
yeah.
of like if you look at their numbers,
Yeah.
Rose City like keeps growing bigger every year, but they have the same numbers that Emerald City had 4 years ago.
All right, I'm looking at ECC. I'm looking at Emerald City right now because I'm kind of curious. I like. Uh,
Emerald City just had its 20th year. Rose City just had its 10th.
yeah, I just saw that it's their. So I imagine that's why it also was like ab- above and beyond.
Yeah, Emerald City, I think, is the biggest convention in the Pacific Northwest. Would I recommend it for people who want a big con? Obviously, it's the biggest. Would I recommend it for people who are new? Maybe not on Saturday because it's very stimulating,
Oh
very
wow!
crowded, very
So
overwhelming.
I just looked at Seattle. An estimated of 75,000 people attended ECC in 2023.
Uh,
75.
okay, so that's actually down a little bit.
Well, geez, that's
Yeah,
still
2019 was about 80 to 100,000, if I recall.
yeah. I'm looking at right now.
It's big.
It's so big. Yeah.
So, yeah, there are definitely a lot of conventions where you can see a bunch of cool stuff and not be so overwhelmed. Or if you go on like Thursday or Sunday to ECC, then you can get the whole con experience without the like, ah, it's a convention.
Yeah. I agree.
Like the very first time I went to a convention, I'm like, I'm gonna do all the things. I'm gonna do this panel, this panel, and this panel, and this panel, and I realized like, oh right, I gotta pick one thing, and that's the one thing I'm doing that day.
Yep.
Anything else I do is icing on the cake. Like,
Wow, 98,000 people attended ACC
yeah,
back in 2019. So pre Panda
yeah,
Express pandemic.
yeah. Like I said, it was 100,000 people, and I know this because I'm the one looking at all their media kits to see how much money am I gonna make on my investment. So
Jeez.
yeah, it's a
um.
big one.
Oh, I believe it. Becca. Is this a con you would recommend to someone who wants to basically go to their first big con?
It would depend on why they were going to con in the first place. um, Again, if they were like, I want to go to the big con, I would say yes, go to Emerald City. If they said it's my very first con, and I'm not super into seeing a bunch of celebrities, I would tell them not to go to Emerald City. I think if you're really into the celebrities that are there, and therefore the celebrity panels that are happening, that it's the place to be. But if you're just there to check out cosplaying, if you're just there to see vendors, if you're just there to see photographers and get photos taken, like, it's just, I would not suggest it as the first one. But yeah, as the if you were like, that's, I want to go to that big one, I would tell you to go to Emerald City. So maybe not
Everything's
on
there, but it's
Saturday.
overwhelming. Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
Um. Oh yeah. And Bob, same question. Is this a con you would recommend someone who's wanting to look for cons in the Pacific Northwest?
Um, if you had asked me that at last year's, I would have said heck no. Um, this time out is like improved in so many ways. There were still kinks to work out with the elevators and escalators and some of the distribution of who's where and making sure people know where the exhibition floor is and all that. But
Yeah.
um, On the whole, if you are after a big convention that has a lot of different things going on, a lot of, and I repeat that, a lot of different things going on, then this would be a good place to go because there's cosplay and cosplay panels, there's writing panels, there's gaming, there's celebrities, there's
A lot
of
to
course there's
do.
the vendors and a lot of just a lot of different things to do. So if I went to a couple of the writing panels as well as a couple of the cosplay panels and the um, um, that one celebrity panel I mentioned, so you have a good variety of things to do. But if you do um, come like start on Thursday, and that Thursday is a good day to acclimate yourself and get to know the space and
Oh yeah.
know what's going on, and then kind of build yourself up the rest of the weekend.
Because I know not a whole lot of people can go on Thursday and Friday because that's still their work days.
Yeah, if you can't, if those are your work days, then try coming to just Sunday, or go ahead and get a couple of days off because you're going to need it to really
It's
enjoy the
worth it.
entire convention.
There's a lot for sure.
Oh, I wholeheartedly believe, which actually brings me to another real quick question. They do daily passes, right? Not like, oh,
Yeah.
if you miss getting a pass on this day, you can't go these other days.
Nope. It's all you can do single day passes.
Ooh,
Yep.
see that I like because if someone can't go on, you know, Thursday or Friday, they can still go on Saturday and Sunday and
I
still enjoy the con.
think generally how the pricing for it goes is a 4 day pass costs the same as 3 individual days, more or less.
Yeah.
Um,
I'll go
I,
on the site here
I
and take a
I saw the
look.
prices and the prices aren't bad. And does this con do a VIP pass?
Yes, it does.
Probably.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
there's a VIP
I'm sure.
pass and a couple of
Of
other.
course they do.
All
I
right.
am going onto
So
the site right now to take a look, and I'll get you the. Whoops.
we got 19 minutes before StreamYard says, "Hey, your time is up." Real quick, as I always do, and since Ben, you are new to this, would you like to promote yourself to let people know where they can find you on social media?
Oh my gosh, I'd love to promote myself. Who doesn't love promoting themselves? Okay, I'll make it real quick though. So, yeah, I'm Ben Lucas. If you want to see my cosplay convention, it is at Triple Click Photo on both Facebook and Instagram. If you've been watching me and looking at all the pretty pictures behind me, et cetera, and want to see everything else I do, it is at Nom Creative as an Om Nom Nom, and I am that on literally every social media.
Love that name.
Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, whatever floats your boat. Triple Click is just Facebook and Instagram because when I did the Photo Booth spinoff, I'm like, right, my wedding clients do not care about my cosplayers. Although I have booked a few weddings from my cosplayers, so that's cool.
Nice. To make it real quick again, Becca, would you like to let people know where they can find you on social media?
Absolutely. It's Wreckaroo, spelled like wrecking ball, WRECKAROO. And that's me on Instagram and Facebook.
Nice. And Bob, last but not least, would you like to let
Uh,
people know where they can find you on social media?
you can hit me on Instagram, Pinterest, or Twitter at Bob Greenwade.
AKA One Eye Cosplay.
Oh, just Bob
Or
Greenwade.
just or just yeah, just look just
One word. One
just
word
look
right there.
just look at the the name below. And you all know where you can find me on Facebook. Well, not Facebook actually. Don't want people to find me on there. You can find if you want to, just prepare for the cringiness. You can find me on you can find me on Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. Not always. I am not always active on Twitter. You can find me on TikTok. And also, feel free to join the Wayne the Unknown Discord, which is also in my link tree below, if you want to join some other cosplayers and just BS and whatnot and have fun. So yeah, I think that should do it again. Ben, Becca, and Bob, the three Bs. Wow, it's the first time having people with the B in their name. Yeah. Anyway, I'm Wayne the Unknown. Until next time, thank you for listening, and as always, thank you for watching.